Welcome to Evaluating Job Offers and Salary Negotiation with Engineering Career Services. Today we'll cover what to look for when comparing offers and how to best approach negotiating your salary. Let's begin by going over when it's appropriate to ask questions regarding salary. Here's a test. Guess when the ideal time to discuss salary is. Ready for the answer? It's D, when you get an offer. You want to wait until an offer is made so that you have the negotiating power. If you state a number before the employer does, you will not be able to ask for more if you change your mind later, after reviewing industry or UMD averages, for example. Sometimes the employer will try to get you to give a number first. In this case, try to deflect and delay with statements like the ones outlined here. If you suggest a number lower than the employer was considering, they may not make the higher offer they originally intended. If they push you to state a number, just remember, compensation is important, but not everything. Do your research on the company and roles and industry standards. Know your averages for the position overall and at the specific company, and know your target range.
Now let's fast forward to when you got a job offer. First of all, congratulations. Before you accept the offer, please heed these considerations. Remain calm and composed. Thank them for the offer. Do not accept on the spot. Recruiters expect you to take time to make a decision. We'll share sample phrasing on the next slide. Confirm the date as to when a response is needed. Identify specific time versus time frame. For example, November 1st versus 2 weeks from now. Ask which company contact you should talk to for questions. You might ask questions immediately, but often questions will come to you after you have had a chance to review the offer. Ask questions to understand the details and conditions of the offer. Take notes during the conversation. Gather additional details to include specific job responsibilities and short-term goals for the role. Who will be the direct supervisor and/or name of the team/group. Relocation benefits. Start date. Location. Work hours/telework options. Parking and dress code. Please note that we recommend scheduling a separate phone meeting to ask your questions once you've reviewed the offer. It is difficult to think of questions on the spot. This will allow you to fully leverage the information for your negotiation. Make sure to review their contract carefully to avoid missing any key details about the role or the company. Lastly, set your own deadline to respond if they have not. ECS office has a policy for employers. If students are offered a full-time position in August or September, the year before they graduate, they have until the end of October to make a decision so that they can participate in fall recruiting activities. If offers are made after September, we ask that employers give students 2 to 3 weeks to make a decision. Please note this applies to positions found through handshake or on-campus events, not necessarily others. Be aware that there are various offer types you may receive. A gracious offer will say take all the time you need. A standard offer will state a deadline anywhere from 2 days to a couple of months. An early bird offer will provide several deadlines and/or additional compensation for early acceptance. And an exploding offer will state when the offer is no longer good. While we may prefer a gracious offer, any of these are legitimate.
After you gather all the details comes the hard part, evaluating your job offer. Next, we'll cover what factors to consider in the process. But first, a note about communication. When communicating with recruiters, hiring managers, and HR about salary negotiations, it is best done in person, through video conferencing, or by phone, not via email. Remember, this process reflects on the strength of your communication skills. Be professional in your interactions, state your purpose in all correspondence and phone calls, and stay positive. Know that some companies will want to hear back more quickly than you'd prefer. While there's no guarantee you'll be granted an extension, we always suggest that you ask for one if needed. Some scenarios you may run into are simply needing more time to consider the offer, waiting to hear back from another company, or needing more time to compare multiple offers. It is important to be polite when asking for an extension, and some sample statements are included here. Be sure to explain your situation and explicitly request for more time to decide. The earlier you ask, the more likely your request will be considered. Do not wait until the last minute to ask for an extension, as this would be considered highly unprofessional. When asking for an extension, always give a date when you can get back to them. A vague, "can I have more time?" will not be received well. When assessing job fit for yourself, ask lots of questions. Does this company align with my values? Does this company align with my interests? Will I be able to find travel and housing accommodations for this role? What are my benefits like? Do I get extra perks like subsidized graduate school tuition? Also, look at diversity and inclusion policies. All these questions should factor into how you weigh the offer. Remember, salary is just one component of the job offer package. Benefits are important and can make up to 40% of your base salary. Remember to familiarize yourself with all aspects of your package, ranging from your employment status, bonuses, career growth, insurances, retirement options, and additional benefits. We'll share additional links in the comments to help you review your offer. Of course, as mentioned before, combine this knowledge with the job duties, company reputation, opportunities for challenger advancement, job security, and more to determine the final fit. When it comes to salary, remember to take education, type in years of experience, skills, scope of duties, location, etc. into account when comparing salaries. There are many great online researches for researching salaries. Some include salary.com or Glassdoor. You also have the ECS website that lists average as well as industry salary. Plus, you can come into the office to ask what alumni hiring salaries have been in the past years at your specific company, or use the grad/alumni site link below. You can also look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, other industry associations or publications, or ask alumni or peers who are comfortable with sharing this information with you so you can make an informed decision. Once you know the final versions of your offers, it can be helpful to map them out. Here's an example that lets you compare various elements and weigh them based on their importance to you.
When it comes to negotiation salary, if you're happy with the offer, there may be no need to negotiate. In particular, if you know you're on the high end of the average range for your industry, there is not a need to negotiate. However, most of the time, you'll want to try negotiating so as not to leave money or other benefits on the table. Don't worry, this process is standard. Recruiters are accustomed to it, and you're not at risk of losing your offer by requesting to negotiate. For this process, we encourage significant preparation. You should be confident in supporting your assertion that you deserve more pay and be willing to listen to what the employer has to say. Just think about it. Are you worth more? Is the salary you've been offered substantially lower than the industry standards? Do you have something that they should pay more for? For example, a unique skill set, security clearance, or other previous experience in the company? Do you have another offer for more money? It is possible to also negotiate other parts of the compensation package. These include moving expenses, start date, a hybrid schedule, etc. Oftentimes, companies are not in a position to negotiate salary for entry-level positions. Some reasons may be because there may be a predetermined budget and salary. It may not be reasonable/possible to negotiate with every new hire. And lastly, they may want you to prove yourself before they pay you more. In this situation, you can always ask what the promotion timeline is like. In this process, if you're considering multiple offers, remember to focus on your top company for negotiation. Once you have prepared, you can begin the negotiation process. Contact the company representative who extended you the offer. Be sure to convey your enthusiasm and interest in the offer. Request a meeting. Express your concern about the salary or other item you want to negotiate and provide a rationale for your request for a higher starting salary. Know that the rationale should be based on information found through research and your professional background/skill set. It should not be based on personal reasons For example, you need to pay off school loans, ability to pay your rent, etc. Practice your responses to the following possible responses. And remember that a note in negotiation based salary may still allow you to alter a different element of your compensation. You, of course, must be tactful throughout the whole conversation. If your negotiation request is turned down, you still need to be able to accept the offer if that is your wish. Know when to quit bargaining. Do not be greedy, and of course, do not lie. If you have multiple offers, and if you're using higher pay with one company as a bargaining chip, you'll have to disclose that amount, and you may even be asked to disclose the name of the company. But be honest because the company will research to determine the validity of the gap. Just like a student can research salaries, the HR reps can do the same. In many cases, HR reps from different companies are friendly. For example, they meet up at career fairs regularly and talk during lunch. So, you need to stay honest. There are scenarios where someone assumes a company will match the better offer and they do not. In fact, you can be told, if you're getting a better offer elsewhere, go with it. So it's certainly not a guarantee that companies will price match other offers. But too many students assume that is a rock solid bargaining chip. As a reminder, it should only be one element of your approach to negotiation, which should center on the skills and expertise you bring to the company. Please note that Engineering Career Services recommends using other offers as the last bit of data to use your rationale for a higher salary. Your skills and experiences should be first elements provided to employers. When you're done your conversation, be sure to follow up with an email to confirm the changes you discussed in writing.
After careful consideration, it's time for you to make your decision. Regardless of whether you're accepting or declining an offer, remember to call your recruiter instead of only replying by email. If you're accepting an offer, thank the recruiter, let them know you accept, and ask for any additional details you might need for your first day, such as what time to show up at work, parking information, bidding product process, work email address, etc. Also, be sure to inform any other employers you interviewed with that you've accepted an offer. Don't forget to send an email confirming the details you discussed. If you are declining an offer, remember that the decision isn't personal and a recruiter knows that. It's part of their job. Don't delay having this conversation as the employer still has to fill the role. You can give the employer some idea of why you're declining, but you do not need to provide details. Avoid mentioning anything negative or burning any bridges, as you never know when you may need to connect with someone in the future. As before, after any phone conversation, be sure to follow up with an email. Once you accept an offer, we encourage you to make a LinkedIn post about your great news. Give a shout out to the individuals who helped you throughout the job search and interview process. This will go a long way in continuing to develop your networking practice. Keep up with LinkedIn throughout your career to always be in a position to leverage opportunities for career development and growth. We also encourage you to fill out the job update form to share news with Engineering Career Services so that other students can benefit from knowing potential employers, salaries that they can pursue.
Please keep in mind, it is highly unprofessional to accept an offer and then decline it. Doing so may result in unwanted consequences in your future career growth. Plus, keep in mind that if you decide to renege on your commitment to accept an offer, Engineering Career Services will have to take action. Not only does reneging damage your own reputation, it also damages the schools. If you renege with an employer you found on Handshake or an on-campus event, an employer might reach out to our office. If that happens, you'll be prohibited from using Handshake or attending careers events, and will have to meet with an engineering career advisor to get your account turned on. Thanks for tuning in and learning about how to manage job offers and salary negotiation. We hope this video helped and gave you good insight about this process. You're always welcome to visit us in 1131 Martin Hall from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. during the school year and summers as well. We also do virtual appointments if needed. We hope to see you soon.